You get the point. So I would appreciate if we really are having a relationship. Let us kiss it. Keep it simple and smart. KISS in capital. Kiss it. Keep it simple and smart. Just love me. I love you in our simplicity. We do not have to go where we are kind of seeking for a cheering sport to keep the love going and the fire going. And when it is time for it to come to an end, let the relationship end. Let it not break. Because there's a difference between ndoa imevunjika na ndoa imeisha. You know? Let it get to that. But where you write my name, Patricia.
What's up, Waveriders? Welcome to the Tide Clique Podcast.
How you guys doing?
Let me tell you one thing.
When husbands wanakuwa parents, men wanacheti kutushinda.
How do you feel, man?
We are the Clique Gang.
Shaanza kusmile. Oh, bring it on, darling.
Hello, Waveriders. Welcome to episode 19 of the Tide Clique. Today is a vibrant day. I'm Max, brown skin boy.
Boy wako anaitwa Joe pale.
Yeah, nami naitwa Kimberly.
So today with us tuko na mzazi professional anaweza imba. Kifungua kwaya tutake mtu wa kwaya, tunaweza ongeza hapo mtu wa kwaya hapo kwa hii podcast. She's also a content creator chini ya maji. Sikuwa nimewambia hiyo, si ndio?
Hatuko najua hiyo.
Mko mnajua hiyo? Nitawa plug. She has a YouTube also. She does 1 2 3. She's also a professional in her own area. Acha mheshimiwa. Tuambie mawili matatu.
I'm pretty excited to be here. Really, to be with the young people, being a parent and seeing the young people and coming to participate in this conversation. Patricia Wanja Kathurima is my name. I'm into the business of human capital development. Simply put, being able to... Human capital is simply the knowledge, the skill, the experience, the qualification people have that translate into economic assets. And so I'm here to have this conversation because I believe the youth really need it. Looking at all of you, you are at that stage that you're sliding into the job market.
Exactly.
And so I believe we're going to have a wonderful conversation.
Yeah.
Now,
You're welcome.
If you speak on human capital, I think of my HR. Hiyo kumekuwa na story ya my HR pale kwa internet. Mtu anauliza if nyinyi wote mnasema you are nini wazuri, our HRs ni our parents, ndio?
Yes,
Au mama wenyewe ni wazuri. Our HR visirani ni mzazi wa nani? Huyo HR kisirani ni mama ya nani?
Kina nani hao?
Now, Patricia, how do you view the role of HR in a company, in a
organization,
a setup organization?
The role of HR, they are actually the people who are responsible for procuring the workforce for an institution. And so every department will present the whom they need in the organization in terms of we need somebody with this qualification and their job role will be this. So the HR department will take up that need in the description that end user of that person who is needed will go to. If it is the operations department, if it is the procurement department, it's the marketing department. Theirs is to put up an advert so that now they can reach out as to many people as possible, then engage in the recruitment process.
Right.
And so it is a very critical department, and they end up being the father of the workplace. Because now any problem people have in the workplace is their responsibility. When people have mental health issues, it is them who are supposed to spot it first and have strategies to help people work out and help them be productive at the workplace. So human capital formation or development at the workplace is a responsibility of the human resource department.
Oh, nice.
So where does this, let me call it a stereotype, where does it come from, where they say like HR ni watiaji? So where does it come from?
HR ni visirani. Like akunanga anything good about HR si unasemekana. No.
Probably because they are seen to be the ones who hire and who advise for firing. Maybe that could be the reason. But remember, it is also that is their responsibility at their work.
Yeah.
If you present as a potential candidate for being fired, of course they don't do it immediately.
So you are present as a potential candidate
To get
for fired.
Yes, of course there's a procedure, there's a protocol to be observed, and so they will do it. Until then, you present to be purely a potential candidate for being fired. Otherwise, people need to appreciate them because also they are good. They are the same people who say you people need to go out for training and development. You also need to go out for end of year party because people have worked throughout the year. They're the people who substantiate why to the senior team why there should be a budget for such. So we should not really be on one extreme to say we need to also see the good about them.
Okay.
Since I have you here, there's something I've always wanted to know. Because in every department, you find like operations, you'll have a KPI, you have an objective, like you're supposed to meet it, right? And maybe let's say, for example, sales, you have a target, you're supposed to maybe make a certain number of sales. In operations, you're supposed maybe to keep the warehouse like in check. I've always wondered, in HR, like what's your KPIs? Like how do they gauge if they're supposed to keep you for the next quarter or maybe fire you? So
now, the HR department have they really zero into the performance of individuals. Okay, you see institutions doing performance appraisals.
Yeah.
All right, and the intention of performance appraisal is like an audit of how people are taking up their area of responsibility. The intention is not to fire anybody. It is to identify gaps for development or for improvement. Unless you've really proved completely impossible to cooperate, to be helped, to grow, and work with other people. And remember, sometimes you don't fail to perform because you're not a performer. You may be failing to perform because you're in the wrong place. And that can bring a conflict when you're working with other people. Not because you cannot, but taken somewhere else, you can grow very well. That is why you see even in institution, somebody came in as a marketer. But at some point with advice from the HR, the person is taken to operations because they seem to present, they have more skills and they are more productive in that area. So you hear somebody is a marketer, but you find them in operations. How is that? So the HR is there to observe. They use the performance appraisals to help. They also do the skill and knowledge gap analysis that is actually supposed to inform the training needs for the human resource of the organization. So they have them, and they have a way that they follow up to the end about it.
Okay.
So umetetea HR umesema
HR.
we need to look at the coin has two sides. So you have to evaluate all the two sides.
Yes, don't be so quick. Don't be in the extreme of disqualifying them or demonizing them that they only fire. We also have to look at, because we have difficult employees. We do. We have difficult employees who can make it really unbearable for other colleagues to work with. They'll never be team players. And that is one thing that the employer is looking at as an employability skill, or what we call soft skills. It's a skill that drives the technical skill. I'm sure we'll advance to that stage in the conversation.
Yeah, we'll advance with the soft skills.
So I think we need to have a discussion, because I think pia kwa set we need a HR by the way. Because kuna watu wanadhulumu watu huko ndani.
As ever you want a representative of the HR.
So Patricia, we need your representation around this place. But closed door, taongelea closed doors. Yangi na HR hadharani.
So we were looking at whatever was happening in the internet. So we also saw there is somebody who went ahead and bought flowers and wrote "unblock me." Unblock me.
So there were actually two of them.
So there were two.
One unblock me.
Unblock me.
And then there was another one. Alikuwa ameandika Mercy, please forgive me.
Then there's another one who wrote on his head, Sarah.
What is love? Love is a beautiful thing.
Love is never.
You see, one thing, if you are in love, unaona hizi vitu zikuwa vitu mzuri sana. Check. now you view things in a very different perspective. Hata ukiambiwa Fellah, achana ule.
Exactly.
Huwezi sikia.
Yeah,
Ama
yeah.
ukiambiwa achana na huyu jamaa.
Unasema tu nyinyi hamjui nampendea nini.
Unaona ndo the enemy kwa unaniambia nini wewe?
Now, to me, I'll see that unblock me flower thing as simping.
No. It's not simping. I feel you unblock me or writing Sarah. You're simply expressing yourself. You're simply expressing your feelings. You are trying to get the message out there, even if when you cannot speak it with your words. I remember a long time ago. Personally, I've been to a relationship whereby I couldn't express the exact words. So I used to write a small letter and say, by the way, I've baked a cake for you. You'll check it is here and here. And I've gone to school. I used to do that personally.
That's okay. That's
Yeah.
okay. Like
That is the expression.
Mimi niko na swali. You used to bake the cakes alafu?
Yeah, I just...
How did it end?
It's
In tears.
never mind. It's a story for another day.
My question is, is it, as for me, I'll see that as a man stooping so low.
No. It's not. It's not.
I'm asking Madam.
Patricia.
What's your point?
Yeah.
As to me, I'm seeing that as a man trying to stoop so low for attention. Or maybe you have another view or perspective about that.
So siku moja tu, like one day you wake up and then maybe you are going out kununua mkati and then you see your guy, Patricia, I'm sorry. Pale kwa mtaa.
What? Patricia, I don't like that. I wouldn't. I don't like. I'm a bit reserved when it comes to public display of affection.
Okay.
I'm very reserved about that because the trend. What I have seen is, I find it like a setup. Somebody wants to display their affection for you in public so that they make you feel a queen or a king. And so they make you believe it is real. The fact that I can come out in public to demonstrate my love for you, then you should believe in it. Then you get hooked and you believe in them. The probability of this person abusing you is very high. I'm not saying there are people who do it in public and they don't. We have people are different. But if you look at history, if history is anything to go by, people we have seen showcase their love. Somehow you are attracting attention and the same likes and the same people celebrating you when things are going bad, they're the same people who whip you.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I think there is that statement, mtaachana tu.
It will end in tears.
It will end in tears.
But there are so many outbreaks of like social media couples,
Yes. But you see, it is different if you there's no, even people who have had their love affair, their love affection quite under, well tucked in. They do have breakups. But there's a difference between people who hand it in public and people who hand it in privacy. The emotional and psychological pain and torture is different. Because now, those who did it in public and how much you displayed, ujui utaambia watu nini. You get the point. So I would appreciate if we really are having a relationship, let us kiss it. Keep it simple and smart. KISS in capital. Kiss it. Keep it simple and smart. Just love me. I love you in our simplicity. We do not have to go where we are kind of seeking for a cheering squad to keep the love going and the fire going. And when it is time for it to come to an end, let the relationship end. Let it not break. Because there's a difference between ndoa imevunjika na ndoa imeisha. You know? Let it get to that. But where you write my name, Patricia.
Ndoa ikivunjika na ndoa ikiisha tofauti ni gani?
There's a difference. You see, when the marriage has come to an end, it means it had a beginning. It has gone through its full cycle, and there is no more energy to keep it going. And so people part ways respectively. They either separate as they wait to see if there is anything that will bring them back together, or as they pursue the next stage of divorce, and they do it so respectively. Other than where ndoa imevunjika, to me it comes out like you didn't put any effort, or one party put an effort, and so it is being blamed, where there is this blaming that it is the woman who caused it not to work. Because from the African setup, and we have been socialized by religion through a verse in the Bible that it takes a woman to build or destroy her marriage. Na kama kuna mahali wamama na wanawake na wasichana wanakufa ni kanisani.
Yeah. I always by the way I always say is it training ukuaga tu za wanawake tu kanisani, you should do this for your husband, sijui when you are married as a young girl you should conduct yourself like
Sijuzi uko na kwa status sijuzi
alikuwa kwa ingine, you know.
Yeah, I don't know why don't they take men through the same guidance.
Spiritual narcissism is real.
Okay. You've heard that, Max?
Well, you are affected.
You have started.
but then, I think it affects women the most. Because even in our church, when you look at I'm not saying like, when you look at the congregation that like tends to go the religious way, it's more of the women. Mm-hmm. Even if you look at the population in churches, like even in like crusades. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Joe, I also have a story on that. So there was one time, because of that situation of spiritual narcissism. So I'm in a church where our pastor had to sit us down last year, and she told us, if any guy approaches you in church and tells you like they like you and they want you to go out, come and tell me first before you go out. Because for one thing, there are so many cases of the woman pulling out of the church because she has been abused, and she will not say that she has been in a relationship, and this guy likes her, you see, or this quote unquote love. So that when you say spiritual narcissism is in church, I feel there are churches whereby they don't take seriously the guy. They advise the men how to live with these empowered women. Yeah.
And that makes me say confidently that the future of relationships, the future of marriage is at stake.
Okay.
We need to be real. And our observation is there are more, I think also your observation, there are more women in church than men. And women need to ask themselves, why do even the leadership of a church concentrate more on women than men? Is it because women are easily swayed? Is it that it is very easy to sell some idea or concept to them and they do not interrogate things? And as a woman, if you become one who interrogates or asks questions, then you can be sidelined. Okay? So women need to wake up and ask themselves, what is this? For example, you go to a church and it comes out clear maybe to the women leadership that you are in an abusive marriage. And abuse is not only physical abuse.
Yeah.
There is physical abuses there where somebody beats you up, gender-based violence where you're beaten up, or there is financial abuse where you're denied. You are a woman who is not working and you're dependent entirely on your husband for provision of your needs, your personal needs, money, and all that. You're not contributing to the family budget. Then also there is emotional abuse where you're emotionally neglected by your husband. There's also psychological abuse where somebody repeatedly says things that keep on tormenting you and stressing you up, predisposing you for depression because somebody tells you, look at you. You are very short but your mouth, you talk very big. Or somebody tells you, look at you, small boobs. And your colleagues are out here with pretty good supporting documents and some very nice cover letter. You know?
Yeah.
And that can demoralize somebody. Now, what happens? You know very well your partner is out there in other relationships. Not one woman, not two, or so. They're in what in supply chain would be referred to a framework contracting, where now you use call off or the call offs where you decide it is this one you are calling. So you have enrolled them in a framework.
Schedule.
Timetable.
You have a timetable,
Have a schedule.
a schedule of who you call.
Yes.
And so you go in church and you're told, through your prayers, your husband will be saved and restored. Excuse me. What if he goes
I'll be
out there and
tired.
contracts HIV?
I'll be
contracts
tired.
Sexually transmitted diseases. And you're expected to continuously engage with him sexually, even without protection, and you have no say in the name that you will pray and he will be healed and it will be well. Does that make sense?
It can never make
It cannot make sense. So women will need to wake up and know that is a lie. You know? And again, I think there are less men in church. And so the pastors feel like if they preach, they go very harsh and hard, they may leave and maybe they contribute a lot to the young people need to, what I saw with the Maandamano, the young people need to rise up against us, the whole generation, who are trying to push you back. Say no to abuse, whichever abuse it is. Somebody will reduce you. And let me tell you what makes most of those aunties and uncles and fathers and mothers do that. You find for example, let me give an example with you. You're married.
No, I'm not.
Example.
Okay. Market haraka.
She's not married. For example, you get married.
All right.
And you get married to
Amen.
Max.
Amen.
And Max is so strategic in his way. Max presents to be very calm and composed. And when you go with him back at home, he presents as so. So he is very likable. All right?
Yes.
However, Max, as an hidden agenda, is not who you think he is. Because I think at a later time we will have an opportunity to speak about personality types. Because people need to know who they are engaging with. Sometimes people are engaging with people who are sick. And you think ni shetani. It's not the devil. People are sick. You may be dealing with a partner, either a man, your wife or husband, who presents the personality in the dark triad personality. People who are narcissists. People who are psychopaths. And you may imagine this person is a demon. They could be sick. That's for another day. Now, if you go with Max and he presents so well, and then Max is able to study your family, parents need to be very careful. And it's at this point I call fathers
Amen.
to be present in the lives of their children and more so their daughters. All right? Do not be the person who subjects your daughter to abuse. Because when that son-in-law comes and he draws very close to you and he gets to learn weaknesses in the family, maybe you like money or there is help you need, he is going to be always there. When he comes to visit your mother and your aunties are there, they are bought for lesos, they are brought for vitenge, they are given money. Don't you think they will like this person? But they do not know this person has taken time to study them and he knows what they like and he gives them. My sister, you are the prize. You've been sacrificed by your own family. And so you're going to pay the price because when you go back home, you know what is going to happen? You are his punching. You are
Punching bag.
Yes.
Yes,
and
I
he can
know.
say whatever he wants to say because he knows utaenda wapi.
Yeah, he's
when
the
you
supplier.
go back to your auntie now, is
Rudy
when
too.
they will tell you, do you think if we did not tolerate your fathers and your uncles, you would be there? Do you think even these homes would be there? My friend, can you go back to your husband's house? You get that kind of a thing.
Yes.
And slowly they do not know they are subjecting their children to a state where they become stressed. Slowly they drop into depression. And now we are having a girl who is now sick. And what is the probability? Escape route.
Yeah.
They either go to substance abuse, dependency, alcohol, and other drugs. Slowly you're losing your daughter. At the end of the day, what these families forget, your daughter may die or she get wasted. that young man is going to get another woman. And that man will never longer be your in-law. You are not going to benefit anymore because he has another lineage of in-laws. So parents need to be very careful. When your daughter comes and explains to you that I'm in an abusive relationship, please listen. Listen. Hear them out and avoid. In my mother tongue, we say, where I come from, we say that that in-laws don't play soccer on the same field. So it is good people keep boundaries so that you do not subject. I'm just giving one area where a girl ends up staying in a toxic marriage because she lacks the social support from the immediate family who she's supposed to run to in case of anything.
Okay, I have a question. No, there's some cultures, it's not even a question. I need you to comment on some cultures. You find that if this person comes from that abusive marriage or abusive relationship and they go back to their homes, so how they are received, a culture like Luos, they say like, you are amigogo. And like you'll not be treated the same way as if the way before you were married. You are coming to be treated in a different way. In fact, your burial place will not be in the compound or so there is that alienation from a little bit from your family. Ni kama ni unatengwa. Ni kama ni you're not like, ni kama they sense like a weakness kwamba huyu alishindwa na ndoa sasa
So there's that stigma that comes with you coming back from like your husband's house. And
I just need you to comment on that.
So before maybe you comment on that.
Yeah.
Like to add on, because there's something you said when you're talking about the in-law coming and learning about the family, and now using that knowledge to actually manipulate everyone and the aunts. And actually, we were having a discussion with some of my friends, and then we were arguing like, okay, do you think when you guys are either dating or even during that time of courting, it's the appropriate time to actually open up on some family secrets? Because you know, like sometimes when you guys are like home Netflixing and chill, mnaanza kuongelea stories za familia like, hey, but unajua auntie yangu anapendanga kufanya hii, anapendanga kufanya. So you guys are feeling like mko close in a relationship, like you feel like unaona like mko comfortable, mko hapo mnaneteka. So you open up like spilling out all the beans of your family, not knowing the intentions of whom say, haujui kama even next year bado mtakuwa na yeye. Kumbe actually there are some people who actually do take those information into hand and they actually use it to actually gain more favor from your family. Yeah? So that's
in relationships you have to be very careful. First year, second year, third year, you hardly know each other in my view. You think you know somebody, you do not know.
Masama 3 years.
Even 3 years, you may think.
Week 2, you are my everything.
Orlando juzi alikuwa anatuambia vile alipatana na dem. That same day ashamkufia.
They want you are my everything. Unasema the 4th year.
There's a difference between being in love, infatuation. Yes, infatuation.
Sounds like a stomach problem.
It's not really love that you're not really in love. All right? There is an excitement that you have about each other and all that. And there's lust. There's a difference between lust, infatuation, and love. It takes time to establish if really you're in love with someone. And let me tell you the fact. Kulala na kuamka karibu na ile sura si rahisi.
Sindio?
Not easy.
It is never easy because there are things you will get to know about this person that can really be annoying. Okay? Because you never used to stay together. So this issue of popping, immediately you feel like there's a bond and you feel like you need to start staying in together immediately is something you should really avoid to avoid messing your life. Because the minute you get into marriage with the wrong person, not that there's ever the perfect person. You could get into a relationship with the right person. You'll never be a perfect person because even me, I'm not perfect. But you need to take your time to address more pertinent issues. We tend to be discussing how many times do you, how often do you love having sex? Morning one, do you like it? You know, we tend to
Kicheza asubuhi na jioni inaweza kuwa mzuri.
Yes. So you discuss more on
anytime.
Or anytime.
Yes.
And you forget that into the marriage, you will not, there will be more to the marriage life than just having sex. You get it? So there are more things you need, more intimate things, more serious things that will sustain. Na kama mnadhani ndoa huwa inadumishwa na mapenzi kidogo.
What are you saying?
Nasikia Joe.
What are you saying? So you should not get married because of love.
Love, yeah.
No, of course there is what will make you attracted to someone, but it is good you take your time so that you don't find yourself that, it was not even love. I was just excited about her beautiful legs, her beautiful ASS, her beautiful mammary glands, because that is what. Sometimes as a girl, I may meet you when you have put a very nice suit and you look very sharp, and maybe you're a lawyer, a doctor, and so I'm getting married to the professional and not the person. So you need to be very careful. Take your time before you can really,
I think,
get into
Drama.
the drama. Because if you get into marriage with the wrong person and you start a family with them,
No.
gonna be tricky. So I think that's why people say, like, they don't look at the physicality, they look at this soul of this person. That's why they call them soulmate. You meet someone that you like their soul. Yeah.
I don't believe in the soulmate thing.
Yeah, like my soul has met, someone that, it's more of like souls are interacting, not the physicality of it. There's a thing that
connection.
Yeah.
An element of people getting connected.
Yeah.
Such that if at all you have differences, you still have the energy and the willpower that is from yourself to sit down and resolve issues for continuity.
So I think that inaweza kuwa a perfect time to do the transition to the personalities, unless maybe ulikuwa unataka kuongeza.
Now, with the issue of love and lust and infatuation, we may have maybe we may engage in our sexual activities, then kuna mtoto anakuja hapa mbele. Na mtoto akikuja, maybe hatukuwa ready kuishi hivyo pamoja, but now the kid amekam.
Sasa ndio unajua mko ready.
Now unasema co-parent. How do you view co-parenting? Because maybe nishazaa na msichana basi hizi kana yeye. Unaona? Wewe kana mtoto tutakuwa tuna co-parent wani itakuwaje. Huku kwingine pia already nishapata dem mwingine. I'm already in a new relationship. There's another family imeanza. So mimi na the other lady tuna co-parent.
Max unapitanga na vitu yenyewe unajua hii siwezi kaa nayo kwa nyumba.
Like sema aje kumesema kuna hiyo lust na kuna infatuation. Una tu demo huyu ni mrembo, huyu unaweza gonga. Si unagonga alafu anashika mimba. Sasa unasema tu hatuwezi toa. Acha tuzae tutalea. Unaona? Yeah. So amezaa tunaanza kulea. Basa hatuwezi oana. Maybe when we were meeting it was only for the
thrill.
There was some thirst.
Exactly. So your thirst nishai quench. Now there's an aftermath for the quenching of the thirst, of which is a kid. A bundle of joy.
So it's now watu hii tunaitanga oops baby ama ndo miracle babies.
We call them a bundle of joy. How do tunaitanga hivyo? So washakuja, we want to co-parent, have another your family. So how do you view it?
Co-parenting is tricky.
Yeah, very tricky.
It is not for every Tom, Dick, and Harry. It demands that the two people be adults of sound mind. Because it's better you negotiate in a way that one parent solely takes the responsibility of the child because of the possible negative energy that will be there because you're now not together. And you're also having other partners. Do you know how sad it is to see one child having 4 parents? Because now you were with her, then you had a child together, then it wasn't meant to go anywhere far. Then you get somebody else. Then she gets somebody else. And then the child is grown up and is going to school, or the child is having birthdays and celebrations in life here and there. And so you come with your partner because you're the father, and the partner is present because they're already staying together. This child has how many parents? One. So co-parenting is not something that people need. It is, and I think you people are saying it's the in thing right now.
Yeah,
baby mama,
it's quite
baby mama,
baby
mama
baby
and baby daddy is the in thing.
It's very common.
But trust me, there is a stage of life that is coming when now reality will hit you about, you'll not even want to talk about being a Gen Z. It is at that time you realize being a Gen Z is being in a category of a population that was born within a period of time. This excitement is not going to be there because of the realities of responsibility that come. And so if really it is possible that people allow one party to mold the child, to bring up the child, and if possible, if then you can have a meaningful conversation and plan on how you can have child visitation, and how you will go about it to avoid any drama that the two of you, remember, you're already having somebody taking care of your emotional needs. Yeah. You're already having somebody taking care of your emotional need. Exactly. It is this child now who is being left to be played with around like some sort of a card being tossed left, right, and center. Let us parent with empathy. All right? Let us not subject a child to be a reason where, like, I was in the supermarket, Carrefour, to be specific, one day, and I'm checking out for some detergent. And a lady come pulling her trolley, and she's on phone with somebody, and she says, oh, this time I'm not going to be late anymore in submitting my money for the chama. At least baby daddy these days, amepata adabu anatuma pesa mapema.
Hey. Kuna ka ATM hapo.
Kuna pesa naingia kila mwezi.
Are you getting it? What am I trying to say? We need to think beyond ourselves. Yeah. That this child is left with nobody now to give them real attention and real, the care that they need, because there's competition between these two parents. And everybody wants to pretend. As they grow and the child needs to be socialized in a particular way, when you have the child, what are you teaching them? What are you, how are you socializing them? When she is with the child, how is she doing it? Are you doing something that she goes and messes up within that week? Then one parent, because they are not always there with the child, they feel like they have to do this to make the child prefer them. Like buy them junk food, be out with them there, taking them to every entertainment place, so that the child feels this is the preferred, the best parent I have. Yes. So it is very tricky. What am I saying? Let's have sex if we have to have it. But let's have it responsibly. Let's have sex if we want to have it, but let's have it responsibly.
Patricia, kama kuna kitu, I'd say our generation and also the next one, which I'm talking about, the Gen Z, is kama kuna kitu tunaogopa, if there's something we fear, ni mimba.
Na charge, nasikia simu.
Na simu
ishe moto Friday.
Na simu ishe moto. So I'd like us to go maybe now to transition into the personality and pick up from that story of the kid. Now let's look at this kid. Yeah, amekuwa raised from a single, kama ni single mama ama single dad. So what are the effects? Like akiwa adult atakuwa mtu aina gani? And hiyo personality yake imekuwa crafted ama imeundwa with which kind of situations zenye basically hiyo personality amsay. Is it inaanzia kwa utotoni ama ni mtu anakuja anafika and then ana decide atakuwa this kind of person?
Personality can be genetic.
Yeah, exactly.
It's biological, the way you are born. So you find some people, their personality, if you look in their family lineage,
so ile statement alaumu ancestors wako ni ukweli.
Ni ukweli. Adini shida nyumbani.
Nalaumu watu wa kwenye.
Also, your personality can be shaped by your upbringing.
Okay.
The way your family mold you as they shape you from being a child to a teenage to an adult.
Yeah.
All right? Then also your personality can be shaped by experiences. That is why you hear there are people who still experience some childhood trauma. And they are who they are because of the negative, the impact their experiences had in the past.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're getting it?
Yes.
And so it is important when we see people, we be very keen at the way, what makes people think the way they think, what makes people talk the way they talk, what makes people behave or conduct themselves the way they do. Could it be a question of they are born like that, or they have been socialized like that in their upbringing by the family, or it is the experiences that they have had throughout life. For example, if a young girl is abused by a family member, a father, we have seen it, unfortunately,
It happens.
or a brother or an uncle, somebody close to them, then slowly they never had a mother who was present and a mother who provided a safe environment for them to speak out and express themselves. Worse is where a child has been abused and some adults who are so mean decide to settle for a family conversation
rather
and
than
some traditionally some goats and cows are exchanged and that goes like that. And the mother also keeps quiet about it. Then this girl grows up knowing that there was an historical injustice that had never been attended in the family. I hope I'm picking up from what your inquiry was about. So personalities are there. Then we also have people who grew up with absence of parents. You know, parents are present. Being present is one thing. That you go to work and you come back home and sleep home. You can be available, but you're not accessible by your children. You have decided wewe kama baba, kazi yako wewe ni ATM.
Kutoa pesa.
Unatoa pesa unapatia mama, anafanya shopping, kwa hivyo kuna chakula. Zaidi umenunulia mama gari ya kupeleka watoto shule, kwenda outing, kwenda kanisani, pesa unapeana. However, you are not there to provide the leadership in the marriage and leadership as a father. Because when you're married, you have two responsibilities. Other than you taking care of yourself, you have a wife whom you have to provide leadership to. As a husband, you also have the responsibility of leading this family. That is another issue. Now, you see, if as a father you are absent, if your father was not present, for example, how possible is it you're going to be present in your marriage and in your family? The probability is, unless you are exemption or that you picked the lesson and you stood guided that this is not the right thing to put my family through in the future, you will do what he did.
Yeah.
Okay? And the same defense probably he put, or the way he behaved, and probably you had instances where you saw your mother go back home to her parents and she's sent back. Or your aunties come and you can listen when they are talking to her, they are telling her, mwanamke ni kuvumilia, mwanamke ndiye anajenga boma yake, mwanamke ni kufunika aibu ya mume wake. Lakini jameni, huyu mume, wakati anaenda kazini asubuhi, na anarudi saa 9, kesho yake akiamka saa 12, saa 1 watoto wameenda shule, yeye anajifunika. Swali tu, tujiulize.
I see where you're coming from.
You see?
Yeah, and maybe can I add on that? I think this is where now, because you have to pick it from somebody.
You have to pick
so if your father is not there, then you'll either pick it from either social media or maybe the television.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why now we are lacking now the masculinity side of like the generation that we are facing, whereby hawakuwa na ule mse wa kuwa guide. Okay, this is how you're supposed to be. This is how you're supposed to maybe take care of your family. I don't know, maybe if also that could be the issue.
Yeah, people need to be taught. You can't just learn. When I'm talking about parenting, I say once a parent, forever a parent. You cannot retire from parenting.
It's a full-time job.
It's a full-time job, and when the parenting call calls, you have to pick it. The minute your children are born, you teach them. There are things you teach them. When they start going to school, they'll need you differently. When they're going to college, it's you who's supposed to be talking to them. Why are children going to the net to check about sex and this thing? Do you think they imagine when you go to the bedroom, you're going for a Bible study with your mother? They know what is happening there. It's only that they are respectful, that they are not saying stuff, but they know you're not going for a Bible study when you go to the bedroom. All right? So you should be there to teach them, to talk to them about sex education, to tell them about having safe sex. Not because you are telling them to have it, but in case they are going to have it,
should be safe.
I have a problem because I know I am likely to be whipped a little bit that I'm promoting young people to have sex. Now, which is better? I tell them this is a condom and there's a right way to use it. Or they come now with an element of HIV and other STIs, and they may decide to keep quiet with it, and then it will develop into more problems in their life.
Or even now unplanned pregnancy.
So once a parent, and then even after finishing college, who should be the first person to start orienting the child for the workspace? It is a parent.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be concerned about how will they get into the job market, telling them how to relate with people, how to how to conduct themselves, how to dress up and go to work, how to interact.
And even just the creative skills, the work skills.
Yes, I think we'll get into that about the work skills. Exactly. It is the parents who should first come in handy. They may not have the capacity, but I'm sure they know somebody in their network who can come in handy for the child. Now, when the child is getting married, who is the best person to educate the child about marriage, if not you as a person? Why do you allow your child to learn from their own mistakes if you have the opportunity to be vulnerable and tell them, this is how we started and this mistake came in, and you shouldn't make a mistake the same way I did? Why don't you orient them? So now, going back to our conversation about personality, there are people who are born, either they have a dark personality, their personality is completely messed up, or because of the experiences that they have had, then you realize a girl maybe who went through the story I was giving, the illustration I gave, she became very bitter and resentful towards men, and she's always having this issue. Somebody can tell she has an issue with men.
No, I have a question on the acquired traits, personalities. Is being promiscuous, is it a personality? Like, is it acquired?
Being
Promiscuity.
promiscuous,
Promiscuity.
if it is a personality issue, being promiscuous, being a personality issue, not
Like,
really.
example.
I would look at it as, you see, like the way people get into alcohol,
Yeah.
into abuse of drugs. The same thing, when you see, it may become a very big conversation. For example, we say African men are polygamous.
Yeah.
But again, in my mother tongue, I say, polygamous, polygamous is not for small boys. Because being polygamous, it means having more than one wife at the same time, not one after another. Meaning, you have the physical capacity because they will require of you sexually intensely.
Yeah.
Then the financial bit of it, because you must provide
For
at
them.
least with some justice and fairness to the families.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
You must be a man of integrity to really be polygamous. That's when we say polygamous. It's not for small boys who don't really know what it takes to take up more than one wife and have a large family.
Yeah, exactly.
That said, today, we are not having polygamous men. We are having promiscuity camouflaged as
Polygamy. Exactly.
It is not polygamy.
No. No, I I interact with so many people
Yes.
in
Polygamous men.
the no. I try Max no.
Umeattack.
No. I've not experienced, but I'm more of humanitarian. So I come across these stories when I go out, maybe if it's in school or even in the neighborhood. I stay in a ghetto, and these stories I had them.
Humanitarian.
No.
Humanitarian siku gani?
No. Speak for yourself.
A lot of humans.
Yeah, speak for yourself, But exactly what she's saying about promiscuity. Nowadays, it's not polygamy; it's more of promiscuity, because kama wezi provide kwa wote equally.
Polygamy is for the big boys.
The reason I asked.
And I'm observant.
And probably you allow me to take that message home.
Yeah.
So you find a man. You could know Max is your friend.
Yeah.
You're married. He is married. Your families are pretty family friends.
Yeah.
And then you know very well, in being a man, Max is having mercy somewhere, and you can say it's okay. He is a man. All right? And then the next time you realize Max is having Ruth. And then again Max is having Joy. You need to be worried as a friend. Yeah. Because it is just like the way you know your friend, you usually have a drink or two, ya kujipiga pole, because after work, you can go and have 1 or 2 bottles and then go home. Uwezi tafuta kwa jua ukule kwa jua. So uende ujitafutie. However, if you see your friend now in one sitting taking a whole crate, that should worry you as a honest friend. You should know something is not right. Yeah. The same way now, I want to tell you that promiscuity can be an escape route for somebody who is experiencing some mental illness. They're in a state of stress and depression.
How? Elaborate.
It is an escape route. It is an escape route.
So women wamechizi wote.
No. I hope you take my context. What I'm saying is, the person, just like the way somebody takes 1 or 2 bottles of Tusker.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, and they go home.
Yeah.
Which you're like, I know. Now, all of a sudden, this person, every day, they are calling you, you're sitting down, and they're taking a crate as how many? 24. The person is drinking, and you're like, there's something informing this kind of drinking. The same way I'm saying, when you see Max, whom you knew is married, then has sasa akona mercy. You're like, ni sawa, saa zingine mwanaume ni kujipanga. So akona mercy. You can, I'm not advocating for it. I'm saying, for example, then tomorrow you realize there's Ruth. Then Max is also having mercy. Then there's Natasha. You're like, this is not right, because now something is up. It could be his escape route. The way this one is escaping in taking alcohol as an escape route to forget his problems, that could be his escape route. Now, that is what I'm trying to explain, that it is not a personality. It wouldn't translate to a personality per se. It could be an escape route, and it has an underlying thing that you need to look into. Yes. So,
okay. So ni kama addiction.
Yeah.
So when you're addicted to something, could be it's the same.
And you become dependent on it.
And you become okay. Next.
For example, he could be at home and he experiences a comment from his woman. Maybe she says like, he is not meeting her sexual needs anymore. It could be true, or it is just a comment to hurt him because they are having some marital issues. And then it gets into his head.
And women know where to target.
Yeah, and you know that one can really disturb a man. Then the guy decides, let me see if any other woman will complain of the same, as a way to see if he is going to qualify or disqualify his woman's statement. Then he gets into that.
It's a method of elimination.
Yeah, and then after doing so, it becomes part of him, because probably he is even receiving a lot of
the performance is amazing.
Yeah, I agree with you when you say these things are caused by something like brokenness, because I've ever interacted with someone so very close that their brother, he has a wife, But the maids that usually come to serve in the house, they employed the first maid. The guy slept with the maid, and they had a kid, and the maid went back to Tanzania. They employed another one. She also gave him a child, 2 in fact. And the guy, the lady had to go to Kisumu, to her country of birth. And the third one now, the mom had to go and do ndumba, so that this went and did uchawi, so that this one can stay, because now this guy looks like he uses women and he doesn't. Yeah. So I don't know what is this brokenness that makes these men to be like promiscuous.
And it's not only like men, because even you'll find like some women, they'll have a kid with one man and then another. So ukimuuliza like hawa ni wababy daddy wangapi, karibu unde team. Karibu unde team. So
team go complete.
Yeah, I'd like you to also touch on a personality trait. Yeah,
Narcissism. I call them social terrorists.
You said bombers.
I'm telling you. If you do not know you're dealing with a narcissist, you can suffer your entire life and die. A narcissist is the character of a person who has placed, they have an attitude of entitlement. They have a tag of importance on themselves. Right?
Yeah.
They seek attention and they have hunger for, they are hungry for, to be praised and glorified. You must put them as like a trophy. Okay? And when they come into your life, they don't come as so. They come as very quiet, composed people. It can be the man or the woman. And they come into your life so smoothly. They slide in your life so easily. They are very quiet.
The smooth operators.
Smooth operators.
Very composed.
Very composed. Very calm. If you ever wanted somebody who is an active listener,
you've got one.
You got one. Do you know what they are doing? They are actively listening and studying you so that they mirror you. So that they make sure they will give you exactly what you want, the way you want it, when you want it. So that now you feel like, God,
I've arrived.
I feel like
I have arrived.
And then they will make you, if it is a man, they will adore you and make you feel like a queen.
Okay.
What you don't know, they have an ego that needs to be fed. And a time will come that you must feed into it.
Yeah.
So when they are with you, the most thing they want to pick out is your weakness areas. Your areas of weakness. Because that is what they will support. If you're a lady, they know they want you present like you want to be paid for school fees, you want to be put up for, bought a phone, you want airtime, you want to be done your nails, you want to have your hair done. They will make you feel the queen. They will provide for you. They will know this one has financial issues. So I'm coming in to be the financier.
Yeah.
And they step in as the financier of everything. Your airtime, your phone, clothes.
Spoiler alert.
They will spoil you to it. And they'll make sure the public, if you have a birthday, if they have a birthday, you attend. You're present so that the girlfriends feel,
She's
and they will start feeling jealous. Then now a time will come, it is your time to pay back. So they will pay back time. They need you to do what they want you to do. If you don't do it, they know what to pull out. If you don't accommodate their behavior, like probably anatoka, anakuja after 2 days. If it is rent they used to pay, they stop paying for you rent.
They withdraw that.
If it is the hair, they used to pay for your hair, your nails, and your clothes, they withdraw. They know where to instill pain. They know the pain points so that they make you behave and feed into their narcissistic ego. Now, the narcissist will never have one woman. Never. They have 2-3 women. So that if it looks like this first woman, who is most cases the primary source of feeding their narcissistic ego, then if you seem to be realizing who they are, they start building boundaries. You start putting boundaries. They will go to the second woman like that. They never want to be alone. And when you think they left somebody else and you're better, surprise my sister or surprise my brother.
So how do you deal with this kind of a person? Like should identify a narcissist? How do you deal with me? Ama you just walk away?
No, it depends on what kind of a relationship you're in. If
Maybe,
you're in
okay.
marriage, you can't just walk away. I can't advise anybody to jump out of life without a life parachute.
Yeah.
The flight is up there, flying, and you want to jump and you have no life parachute, you'll crash down. badly.
What about love bombers? Love bombing, is it a type of narcissism or?
No, love bombing is a strategy by people in the dark triad.
Oh, okay.
Now, the minute they know they have done something that is not pleasant, and they want to come back to your life, they want you to accept them and continue in the relationship with you. It's like they will buy you something or take you somewhere or do for you something so that they are trying to cleanse themselves. And how do they know what you like? They study you. As I said, they are very quiet and composed, and they are good listeners. So you go out with them one day and you are at the mall, and then you're walking and you stop at that shop and you admire that handbag or that pair of shoes. They're like, she likes it. He's not going to provide for it at that time. He will wait. Probably that day he slept out. He was not picking your call, and you're very mad at him. When he arrives, he will arrive with the shoe or the handbag. That is love bombing.
So is it?
It is a strategy by people in the dark triad. There is love bombing, there is stonewalling, there is gaslighting.
Gaslighting.
Okay. Yeah. There are different strategies that they use. Important to go back to his question is what relationship are you in with these narcissists? Are you in a relationship that you can establish the boundaries and take a leave? Or you're in a relationship where you may require another strategy to help you survive as you plan on way forward, so that you safeguard your wellness and more so your mental wellness. What can you do? But they have so many ways of manipulating you before you get to know about it. The other day I saw somebody saying, hey, you call yourself a psychologist and somebody is manipulating and controlling you. Not that they are not that they are exemptional to being abused. They're also human beings. And sometimes some of them are so good at what they do. They have perfected the art of manipulation and control. You can't pick it up. It takes a lot of, you have to be silent, quiet, and calm to pick what somebody is actually manipulating you. It's not easy. Like being love bombed. How would you know you're being love bombed when you admired a phone 2 months ago, 3 months ago, then somebody appears with it?
No, you see, to her, it will be like, Mungu amejibu maombi.
Yes.
Don't love bombing.
You should not look at it, but that is what it is.
Yeah.
So they keep a list of the things that you like. So that is what they use to sanitize themselves. You have to be very keen. It's a whole subject that you need to understand. What is gaslighting? How can I pick when somebody is gaslighting me? Even at the workplace, we have employees who are gaslit by their managers, by their supervisors, by their colleagues, and they don't know they are being gaslit. Somebody makes you second guess, doubt yourself. People are love bombed. How do you know when somebody is love bombing you? How do you know when somebody is stonewalling you in a relationship? It's good that people understand the concept of personality and how it is very powerful when it comes to people working as a team at the workplace or in the relationships that we have.
Okay.
Now continue.
Now, if we speak at the workplace, before you enter that firm or company that you are working, you always have to go through some studies, right? Now, umesema ulifanya law ukawacha.
Mimi nilisema saa ngapi nilifanya? So Kenya Orlando anatuambianga yeye ni lawyer. The story with me na law ni I wanted to do law. I wanted to do law kumbuka nimemaliza form 4 unajua ndio uko hapo mzee anakuja sasa jo mshiri unataka kufanya nini, what do you want to do with your life? Mimi niko hapo sasa, mimi nataka kufanya law. My dad was like mbona kwenda kuchanganikiwa tu kwa bure, mpaka I was like kwani niamini mtu wangu nini form ni gani?
Exactly, our point is the career we choose. We have some 2 or 3 things that influences our career paths. Maybe I wanted to do this course, but my mzee or my mom said, endo fanya hii. No. Now, ukimalizanga high school, you're always very indecisive of what you want to do. Or maybe you may be trying to wait for the results zitoke, ufanye course fulani, but zikikuja unapata haujafika hiyo threshold ya kufanya hiyo course unataka kufanya. No. Now you are forced now to rethink another thing of what to do.
Yeah.
Now, nini nafai to guide as students or anybody trying to go to a specific career na bado ana much information or ana lack the guidance to choose which career path to dive into.
Yeah. Patricia, before maybe you dive deep into that, before we leave the personality thing, because there's something I wanted also to talk about before tuingie pale, because narcissist, I think it's also painted in a negative way, but I feel like narcissist, some person, like a personality like you kuwa narcissist, I don't think it's a bad thing, because if you look at even at the workplace, and even if you look at the country itself, most of our leaders are actually narcissists, right? Even if you look at our president, we are narcissist mbaya sana. Even if you look like people like Elon Musk, if you look at people like who mwenye own Amazon and all that, so kuna certain positions, even if you look in the workplace, my managers, my CEOs, they do hold this trait ya narcissism kidogo, because they do know when to like draw back and when to kuwekea kitu kiasi, and then when to pamper you guys, kidogo Friday mnasikia pizza anawabamba kidogo mnabambika. So I just wanted to add that on the and I don't know if you agree, because
I would want to differentiate this. There's what we call sources of power, and especially in the workplace.
Okay.
You could have legitimate power. Legitimate power is more of position power. The power you have as a CEO, the power you have as an end of department. And so with that power, you can either you have the option of abusing power or ethically using power. You get it?
Yes.
So if you see now where you're in an organization and maybe the manager of your department, after they have been on you so much, at the end of the week, they buy you a pizza or they take you out. Now, I wouldn't say they are narcissists. It is the how they choose to use the power that they have.
Yeah, exactly.
On you.
Yeah.
There's also something we call expert power. For example, you're a young person, and in technology, you people are pretty easy and using it. So you go to your workplace and you meet the right now those who are in the top management in the workplace are Generation X, and the millennials Generation Y is just catching up. There are those who are under mentorship and coaching right up to start taking up. So the generation, the X may not be they may not have hands-on on technology. So they are more dependent on Gen Z to help them do 1, 2, 3 things. So you're like, why should we be helping you? Yet you people are not ready and willing to orient us properly by coaching us on how to go about this job. It's like you're holding on to it. Yeah. So you see, you have that power.
Exactly.
The expert power. Maybe you are in technology, you are an IT expert or something. Now that is the expert power. How do you use the power that you have in the workplace? It doesn't translate to you being a narcissist.
Okay.
You get the point? There's something else we can call the resource power. Like now our president and the setup of the devolution, the county governments. Okay? Yeah. And everybody wants some development in their county. And if you are backing with the national government, they're good for you. Now you see the president could be having the privilege of resources as the CEO of the country, and he has goodies he can give. Isn't that his resource power now? Yes. How he chooses to use it to ensure justice and fairness is when we talk about ethical use of your source of power or abuse of your power.
Okay.
You get the point.
Yeah.
In the house, if you are the man of the house and you have a wife who is not working, or you are the wife who is working and your husband is not working, what power do you use against this person to make them dance to your tune? Are you getting it? Yeah. So you find a man decides, maybe a woman decides the husband is not working, he has maybe lost his job, and he's still looking out for an opportunity, something to do, and she has the money. And so the guy probably is negotiating, can you get me some money? I top up with what I have, I start a business. And so she uses that opportunity, because of previous issues that have been there. Now you see she's in a position of power right now because she's the one working, she's seeking your help and all that. So we shouldn't look at personality we need to differentiate personality types and power and use the way you abuse of power. It cannot come close. Yeah. Okay. Those are different things.
Yeah. So the reason why I usually say that is because I usually feel like any person who is in power,
yes,
like how important do you think you are to a point where you feel like, I think I can lead 50 million people? Like, I feel like mkinichagua but then naweza kuwa lead.
Kujiamini.
So naonanga hiyo kujiamini. You have to be a narcissist to be
that one has no, it's, you
that
don't
level
have,
of
it
confidence.
can be personality,
Yeah.
because you see there are people who are personality. Let us not look at the dark triad alone.
Yeah.
There is issue of somebody who is an introvert. We have extroverts, and you will look. People's personality also dictate how successful they are with their career. You can imagine somebody who is an introvert. That means they love being, they choose who
Quiet.
to talk to, when to talk, when they feel
They want to talk, yeah.
Where can you classify, if you're given an introvert and an extrovert, who is likely to be an accountant?
Introvert.
An extrovert. Accountants are more
Introvert.
and they want to be behind the scenes with their paperwork and their calculator and pen. They're okay with that.
Yeah, introvert.
Wakili.
Extrovert.
Mpaka asikike. Mpaka you have to hear me.
Extrovert.
You have to see me. You have to feel me.
You have to hear my sense.
Yes.
And also sales.
Yeah.
You have to. Sales and marketing.
Extrovert.
You see what we are saying now? So
Even
we're not
communication.
looking at the dark aspect of people. There's also the personality. There are people who are workaholic and they are very irritable. But if you ever come to disturb them when they are having their flow of thought, the way they are doing it, they are keen. They are people who are very keen with their work, fine details and all those kind of people. Then what personality do you place them? So you can map so many. You can map very many the character traits that now draw down. So you have to study it. It's something you have to map. You can't just interact with somebody one day and say this is an introvert. Yeah. That is an extrovert.
Yeah, exactly.
That one has this disorder. Because they are actually called personality disorders. There is personality and there is personality disorders. It's a personality, but it is not very pleasant. Okay? Yeah, so we need to differentiate that. The source of power, if you're abusing it or using it ethically, and now having a personality disorder. And again, there are people who are narcissists and people who have personality disorder and they know. Okay? There are people who have personality disorders and they know. And they use it to their advantage.
And that's a very good transition.
They use it to their advantage.
That's a very good transition.
They don't abuse it.
So knowing yourself and knowing
self-awareness.
Yes. Self-awareness will also help you in terms of the job market.
Correct.
So to the question that actually Max was asking, whereby
career choices.
Choices.
Yes.
So also you need to be able to look at your personality.
Yeah, you need to, back to his question.
Yeah.
Shaping the career of a child, if I must start there, should be the response. The best person to guide is a parent. Because if you have grown up with a child, then you are able to look at them and tell where their strength and weakness is. Okay. And you can tell career-wise what is their orientation. Because you're able to see their interest, where it is. Then now when they go to school, and more so in secondary school, where they need, like, let me use the previous 844 system. When they get into Form 2 that term, they'll select the subjects that they are going to do for Form 3 and Form 4. Then you team up with the teachers, collaborate with the teachers, so that you know what is the subject, which strength are they? How does it integrate with the child you have seen grow, helping with the teacher, because there's a question of cluster when it comes to selection of the subject you want to do. Where you find somebody has the grade, a B+, an A-, an A, but the cluster, imekata. Or the cluster is settling, but the grade is failing this person. You get it?
Yes.
So it need to be a thing a parent has grown with a child. You have to be very keen. And dealing with each child as their own person. If at all you have 5 or so children, they're all different. Learn them. Be keen to understand what is their interest. Where is their strength? When, as they study, be as close as possible with the teaching fraternity. So that you are able to know now from a subject perspective, are they science? Are they into arts? Are they into social science? Then now when they are selecting, have a talk with the child. Not with the intention of dictating, but with the intention of giving them an hearing and then giving them your opinion as a parent, but allowing them to make the decision. Don't dictate it. And I have no problem. Now, when they go to the university, the institution should be responsible enough to do a deep orientation, because there is no need of a child going to third year and they're calling it quits. It's a shame. It's a waste of resources, and this child may end up getting confused. For me, a 24, 25-year-old is still a young person who needs a lot of guidance, because somebody may do their law degree, finish it, and then people, if parents can testify, aya, hii ilikuwa yako, ulikuwa unataka nikuwe mwanasheria chukua, sasa mimi nilikuwa nataka kuwa DJ.
So 25 is still children.
25
Yes,
is
it's still
a very
children.
young person
Children.
I'm a children.
who should be guided. It is wrong when we tell, my take, it is wrong we tell them, umekuwa mwanamume, umekuwa mwanamke, sasa nenda. But remember, when they find themselves in an awkward situation in life, you are still called upon to intervene as a parent. So in the first place, why do you detach yourself from their life? In the name of, they have grown up, they can
work for themselves.
They can go. Support them at a distance. Release them slowly, but still maintain a good relationship so that your children can always come back to you.
Unajua in Kenya, ukiingia shule, as a first year, kuna hiyo love and affection. Na pa second year, third year, afika hapo third year ni kama mzazi ufikiria hapa shule ufanya kuna kazi. So ile love ilikuwa iko first year inapungua kidogo. So ni kama umekuwa sasa mzee.
I've had instances whereby parents tell their kids like, mimi nikiwa hiyo 20 years nilikuwa niko na hivi na hivi, nilikuwa nishatoka kwa babangu, nishatoka kwa mamangu, najisaidia mwenyewe. So
but something I've also noticed with our generation yenyewe, tutapitia yenyewe. Because something I've noticed,
Tushaanza kupitia.
Tushaanza kupitia.
Kitu
nime notice, but they also, our relationship with our parents is not as we would have wanted it. It's more of father, mother and child. Hakuna ile friendship. Hakuna ile like tunaweza kaa chini tubonge, like tubonge kama mabeshte, unipatia advice kama mabeshte. Like there's something Patricia mentioned about like and that's a whole podcast on its own. The sex talk. Just the sex talk itself. Unajua ukiwa na beshte yako mnaweza ongea kuhusu
unapenda ngono.
Sema bana kupenda ngono. Nani apendi? Yeah. So like kuna hiyo disconnect. Kuna hiyo disconnect. And also we discussed it during the Father's Day episode tukaongelea hiyo stuff. You guys can go and check it out. Tulikuanga pale na I think tuliongelea episode 9 na pia episode 10 tukaongelea hiyo story. Like there's no that connection that we would like to have with our parents. There's no that friendship. It's just more of a father, mother. I'll provide, I'll send you, I'll pay school fees. Soma. Even squeezy by the way, you'll find even nowadays, they don't push you. They don't push you to do something like them they want. At, you should be a lawyer. No. They'll actually pay the school fees. Senior wanks. Ulikuja ukarushwa hapo unasomea vitu zako. They don't even push you at like, no, I want you to do this, I want you to do this. Asian cultures, yes, they'll push you maybe to do a doctor because maybe it's a family thing. But for the Africans, yes, right now they'll pay for the school fees. Na nivo, they'll provide. Ukifika a certain age, toka hama, enda, anza maisha yako. So you can't even go back when you're facing a challenge like outside.
But also, Joe, consider also, sometimes I always say, there are instances whereby the parents hawakufanya kitu wewe umeenda kufanya university. They have never been in a university. So they can't possibly give you what they didn't have.
No, I'm not even talking about the experience. I'm just saying, I want you to be more than just my parent. I want you to be more than just my father and my mother. I want us to be friends. I'm not even talking about career right now.
Taka video calls.
Na wako nazo hizo.
Because I know. For example, the video call.
I like flowers. Na chocolates.
Our son, we've sent you flowers.
Na chocolates.
No, for example, let's say your first drink. I know some people who maybe their relationship with their parents is very healthy. That unapata their first drink, they had it with their parents. Yeah? Wewe first drink yako yo kalejo ulikunywa wapi? Kama si kale ka pub kama jificha pale Chuda hapo.
Kuna container fulani hapo kwa Jofetu. Ulanda najua.
No, there is that also question. Your question, there's question of generations, because I've experienced whereby I hear mimi sikuwa nakunywa pombe, wewe kwa nini ukunywa pombe, kunywa chai na mimi hapo. So they can't drink the way you are saying, like drink with the first drink, you know. Sasa hata there's that question, like if someone, for example, you are my mother, you are asking me, how was your first experience with your boyfriend, if you had sex or did not have sex, you know. There's no that there's no that. Yeah.
Hata before ujibu hiyo. Yeah. Ama you have a son, akuja amebadilisha mrengo. Anakuambia I'm hidden.
Like sexuality.
Yeah.
Utaihanda aje? Eri kulewa ai atalewa zitashuka. Yeye amekuwa hidden.
Yeah.
When we were growing up, if your father or mother found you with a boyfriend, like, I don't know if I can give my story.
Oh, please do.
Yeah, please give.
Please do.
Can I? So there's this day back home, and I'm sent to go to the not really supermarket, but there are people who had started coming up, and they were putting up more like a supermarket.
The mini-marts.
Yeah, the mini-marts, correct. So I go to, my mom tells me, you need to go and pick unga ya chapati, so that in the evening we do it. And I remember I was supposed to go, it was on a Monday, I was reporting back to school on Wednesday. So I went, and as I'm looking for the shelves, because it was a new place, there's this young man who followed me kwa shelves. And I realized, I think initially I didn't know, because I went checking, but he's behind me. Then I realized, no, I think it can't be a coincidence that every section I'm going is coming. So he followed me. And because of that, I took hostess instead of unga ya chapati, because now I'm in a hurry, because my mother is a retired teacher. No. You see, the strictness. Anybody who is brought up by a teacher will tell you.
Yeah, strictness.
They were not taking it easy.
Yes.
And so I took the unga that I saw very fast, went and paid for it, and started walking. Now remember, it's on a Monday. Me, I'm going back to school on a Wednesday. So when I walked out, the young man followed me. And he is trying to catch up with me and saying, you know, like, yeah, like,
Isa.
Hurry, I'm walking. So eventually, I'm like, it is not ending. So I stop with my unga I'm holding. So as he is talking and taking forever, who appears?
Your mom.
My mom appears with another teacher, and they are walking home. And she gives me that look of
bombastic side.
And so, what I did is I decided to leave and just walk very fast and run.
Ulipaniki.
No, we didn't have
phones.
We didn't have. That was way back.
PO box.
No, it is
umwambie mnaishi wapi.
Yes.
Una
So when
pin
I went
location.
home, I got home very fast before her, but immediately she arrived. You know, teachers and the distance they have to walk to school, they can be fast. So I got into the house, and then she came, she told me, I went, there were utensils that needed to be washed. She told me, like, don't wash utensils in my house. Now you have a husband, go wash in your husband.
Unajua kuna mtu.
Na hivyo ndo ulioa. Hivyo ndo ulioleka.
And I thought it's a joke. I continued. She can't and keep my utensils down. Keep my utensils down. Go outside.
Free transfer.
So
Here we go.
Yeah. I stepped outside the kitchen and I stopped and looking at her. And she was like,
She was dead serious. Like,
she was dead serious. And she looked at me like, Wanjande Kora? Oh, if you continue standing there, I'll beat you up. Go outside. My dad was in Nairobi. And he was coming that day. And I stayed outside, practically outside. My dad arrived way late in the night, the dark hour. It was dark. And when he came in, he saw me outside, he knew there's some disciplinary action taking place.
Kuna noma.
So I could hear, she opened the door, then I could hear her talking. Atakwera na mokoro, like she has not told you she has a husband. I'm like, what the hell, Mom? And so she insists that there's no need of us paying school fees and wasting it if you've gotten a
husband.
Now, where am I coming from? Unlike those days, today, because of the scenario we are having, when you see your daughter, your son getting attracted to the opposite sex, you're like, it's no longer that. There's not that thing of, oh, you get pregnant, you get what, you do this. First, it's like, okay,
Ako sawa.
at least. So now, this aspect, the question is, what happens when you realize as a parent that your child is truly converted, either your daughter or your son? Trust me, any parent, they will experience a moment of sad spirit. Your spirit will be sad. Then you ask yourself, what can you do? Are you going to chase them away? I say no. I'm saying myself, are you going to chase them away? Are you going to denounce them? Are you going to make the world know that, hey, is this, and now I'm saying no so that I stand as the, we need, it is, I'm not saying you clap your hands, but I'm also saying don't flash them in there.
don't dismiss them.
Don't dismiss them. Stand back. Silence informs a lot. Silence informs a lot. It will give you an opportunity to accept, because this is an adult. They may, if at all they don't stay with you, they may choose to go away so that they give you that privacy and peace of mind that out of sight, out of mind. It is not easy. I must admit that. It isn't easy for any parent. And more so in our society, our African setup, where we know it is the man who is supposed to be on top. Do you call it missionary?
Correct. Hiyo.
But I'm told in the spirit of spicing up things, there are other...
Kuna Volkswagen. Kuna techniques zimekuja mingi. Helicopter.
Kenya kwanza ila wheelbarrow.
There are other ways of providing angles that spice up things, which is very much okay. So that bit is a bit worrying for parents and every parent in the setup here, because you end up being denounced by the community and maybe the family and all that. We need to be observing moments of silence to help us think through it and see the best way out.
Fantastic. It has been a lovely, lovely conversation. I think maybe nafaa tukubook for...
Wait, time is up, kwani?
Eh?
Naona nafaa unapeana vote of thanks.
sina budi ila. Ukishasikianga sina budi ila, najua muda umeyoyoma.
We haven't tackled a lot by the.
Yeah, we hope to have some future engagements whereby we shed some light on other aspects, more of the EQ. We need to have a lengthy conversation about EQ and the interpersonal skills.
Okay.
We need to have a lengthy conversation about those two topics. We'll plan for that in the future encounter. So it has been a lovely experience having you. I think when mama yetu.
Yeah.
So kwa hii podcast sasa tuko na hiyo mama. Sasa tuna baba. Tutafute baba.
After daddy.
Lakini muhimu sana nataka nielewe kwa nini tukiwapeleka shule when we take you to the university. Mbona mnatucheza sisi wazazi jamani?
Kivipi?
Mbona mnatucheza?
Tunacheza vipi?
Mimi nakupeleka wewe kama mama yako na kuweka hostel. Huyu naye anapelekwa na mama yake, anawekwa kwa hostel. Afu baadaye you have the honors to tell us that we looked at cost management strategy.
How do we maths?
And now
Gonna tuweke under one roof.
Under one roof.
Under one roof. At the end of the day, the kind of money you people operate with in a month is more than such that I'm hearing you people are having even more sex than us at home.
Hiyo ni wivu. Hiyo ni wivu.
Kila mtu alikuwa na time yake.
Kila mtu kwa tabia yake.
Hiyo ni wivu.
What is this I'm hearing that you people are having more sex than us?
Si sasa tulisikia kwa marriage hakuna sex. Wacha tu have tukiwa hapa nje.
Before marriage is better. Hata ukishafika huko hata ukinyimwa, ulisha have it enough kuchini. Now you are good to go.
Tulisikia kwa marriage sex inatumikanga kama transaction.
Unataka nini?
Kama kuacha pesa ya sapa.
Upati upewi.
Yeah, so at the moment allow us to have enough sex. We want to have it. Plenty of it. Now if we get maybe to marry someday la tukinyimwa, we'll be okay.
Napanisha I would have known ningekuja na CV zangu by then nasikia wewe ni HR. Ningekuja na CV.
Sijasema ni HR.
Did you say I'm HR?
Sijasema I asked from niliuliza tu a general question. Uko na shida masikio. We know procurement. So it has been nice having you.
Yeah, it's
so
been
guys,
so nice.
we'll have on another episode to shed more light on this. But it's been pleasure as I've been your host, Max. You can go to our social media platforms on Instagram, on Twitter, and TikTok, and Facebook. Tuangalie, let us interact and also engage with us. So, I've been your host, Max.
Yo, it's your boy Joe. Utanipata pale Twitter _Joe _Mshiri, pale Instagram _Joe Mshiri _
Na mimi utanipata pale Instagram Kimbalidea, TikTok Kimbalidea, FB Kimbalidea. Yeah.
Madam, give us your handles.
Well, let me say I really appreciate being here. Tide Clique
Podcast.
Having a conversation with the young people.
Yeah.
You're my heart.
We love
Young
you too.
people.
Yeah.
You're my heart.
Yes.
I love young people and seeing you people advancing conversations that are going to shape the future of this country and the world. It is very impressive.
Yeah.
Patricia Kadhurima.
Pale kwa corridor ukipatana na boy anaitwa Orlando Uchungi anapenda wamama. Anapenda wamama sana. So
What's up, Waveriders? Welcome to the Tide Clique Podcast.
How you guys doing?
Let me tell you one thing.
Kwani husbands wanakuwa parents? Men mna cheat kutushinda.
Why do you fear men?
We are the Clique Gang.
Shaanza kusmile. Oh, bring it on, darling.